like and subscribe button and leave a comment if you want a shout out. Let's do some mukbang.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Mukbang Stories. I just got home from work and I've been stuck in meetings all day and I really didn't get to eat. So I got me a 4-piece chicken here, a couple biscuits, some chicken nuggets. So let's get into it. Here you go. I'll get you a chicken first. There you go. You probably want a nugget too, right? Here you go. Man, but how you guys been doing today? I'm famished. I forgot some dipping sauce. I haven't ate all day. So how was y'all's weekend? You guys do anything fun or cool? Let me know. And let me know what stories you might want me to cover. So I got this story. So cue the music. Their names is Joe Corona and Tina Corona, and they live in Memphis area. So how they met was at a shoe store. So he was a manager at a shoe store, and she would go shoe shopping, and that's how she met him. And eventually they kicked it off. So she was a single mother, and he was a divorcee. So they have some baggage. But eventually, after a number of months of dating, they ended up getting married. So. So since she was a single mother back then, once they got married, he ended up being an instant father, and they were instant family. So years go by, and she ends up being a successful corporate America person. Pretty high up the ladder. She makes about $200,000 a year. It's pretty impressive. And with him, he transitioned to owning a financial company. Which is pretty interesting. From managing a shoe store to a financial company. But I think since she was successful, I think she mentored him in certain ways and helped grow his company or whatever. Who knows? But one day, they had some kind of event going on. So they were into cars. They love cars, and they, always get together for this car shows or whatever. There's a group and hundreds of them that get together for car shows. So they ended up having to host this car show, and so Tina went shopping, and she went for supplies, and she never came back. Ooh. So during that time, Joe and his friend are hanging out together, and they're fixing one of the cars because they have an 8-car collection. So Joe called his friend over for the day, and they were hanging out and fixing cars or whatever as their hobby. So Joe would call her, and she never responded back. So a few hours go by, and he keeps on trying to call her, and there's no response back. So after a while, they get worried, and then next thing you know, they put out a search party and try to find her, and she's nowhere to be found. So for the next couple of days, they keep on searching for her, and nothing. So the following Monday, they actually found one of their cars. It's a Avalanche, Chevy Avalanche, and somebody said they were walking down the street and they saw this Avalanche and looked inside, and there was a feet showing. So they saw the feet, and the next thing you know, they called the cops and find out she was in the back, and she was all tied up, and she was dead. So So of course, usually when a murder case happens like that, they start wondering who it might be and things like that. And the usual suspects is usually someone close to you. So of course they targeted the husband, but the husband said he had alibi. He was with his friend all day fixing his car or whatever. And of course, that story checks through because his friend was there. Because during the funeral, he acted like nothing happened. He started walking around, he started looking at his friends, he started giving them a thumbs up. I guess, that's his sign of saying, hey, everything's okay, I'm okay, or whatever like that. But, I've seen a few of these murder cases, and usually when people are giving the thumbs up, it signals that they're trying to cover up for something. Who knows? But yeah, and then also on the obituary thing, it says special service song, Beer to Mexico. So the unfortunate part is the friends thought that was tasteless, and the friends started noticing, like, was he acting differently? And then when they were playing music and stuff like that, he was just like bobbing his head and tapping his toes like he was in a good mood or something. Interesting. And on top of that, of course, the friends dropped by the house to see if he's doing okay. A few days later after the funeral, and the house smelled like bleach. That's what deceased wife's friend said she smelled, and she knows, after knowing her for many years, that she only uses Pine Sol. So, So after doing some research, guess what else they find out? Joe Corona was having an affair for 10 years.
10 years? Oh my god.
Wow. How you run an affair for 10 years? And on top of that, his wife knew about it. So, they go to church, and it was a church friend. That's how these stories usually go. It's like a church friend or a neighborhood friend or something. People always, being close to each other. But for some reason, the police didn't think that would be the motive for the murder. Like, it didn't seem like, even though he was having an affair, he was keeping it going, and there's no big deal. She was aware of it. So they weren't sure if that was the motive or not. Now also, Joe, he kept on trying to say it was so overall Joe was saying it was a carjack. But for some reason, when they found her body, she had $30,000 of jewelry on her, and all of it was there. If you carjacking somebody or you robbing somebody, $30,000 in jewelry go in your pocket. No. And it was also kind of weird with the car was, they found the car locked. So whoever was carjacking them, they were nice enough to lock the door. And her shoes was neatly placed in the front seat. So they were nice enough to play clean up a little bit, Oh yeah, so I forgot to tell you the name of the person he's had an affair with. Her name was Becky Black. So during that time, they had their suspicions about the affair. So next thing you know, the police ended up wiretapping her, having her meet up with him and have a conversation, and she was trying to get him to confess. But if I can find that recording, I'll play it for you guys.
All this time, I just kept thinking that maybe, you may have done that for me, thinking that was the only way that you could get me. And then I started thinking, at first I was scared, and then I thought, if you did, that made me feel special. It made me feel like...
Honey,
that if you...
I didn't do it, okay? But when I say I would do anything for you, I wouldn't do something like that.
But yeah, he didn't confess about it. You know, she was trying to get him to, but... So over time, over the next few months, he didn't confess to nothing, and he just tried to live his life he tried to live a normal life or whatever. And he thought that the cops were off his back, He thought he was scot-free. But over time, they kept on coming back and interrogating him. And eventually one day, they went to interrogate him, and he wasn't around. Found out he ended up disappearing. So they thought he fled to Mexico or someplace, Florida, who knows. A tip led them to a city like about 100 miles away, and he was living in a hotel. Interesting. So the cops found him, knocked on the door, and you know what he says?
He says, "Don't come in, I got a gun."
Whoa, so if you're innocent, why would you have some kind of like standoff with the cops saying you got a gun or whatever? Huh. Oh, let me backtrack a little bit on his personality. So when they got married, he was really possessive. Like, he didn't let her go get her hair done without him. He didn't like her going anywhere without him. So he was always on the watch. He was always calling her. He was always checking up on her and things like that. Really insecure. And on the outside, it looked like they had a normal relationship, but he was really possessive. And it got to the point where, it caused a big rift between Tina Corona and her mom and her family over there on the other side. So he didn't even want her to be in contact with them. What kind of person don't let you see your parents or whatever? That's not cool. Okay, so after the standoff, it only lasted like 15-minute standoff, so he came out with his hands up, and he went to trial. So the big motive was it wasn't the affair. It wasn't a love affair that the motive was all about. So come to find out, so the biggest possible motive was that 1 week after she passed away, they were going to close on a house. And here's the thing: when you get when you're trying to buy a house, you're supposed to get approved and go through the bank statements and financials and things like that. And come to find out that his financials was like a house of cards, and ready to blow up in his face. Because you know what they found out? So his financial investment company, he was taking their friends and family's money and putting it in his bank account over the years. So for the past 10 years, he took over $700,000 from friends and families and other people, and he would always give them like fake statements or whatever like that. But 700,000 plus, you know, he was just putting it in his bank account. So that's what he was afraid of right there, because if he gets caught, you know, embezzling money or money laundering, whatever you call it, I don't know what the term is, but that's jail time right there. So that's why he ended up murdering her. So he went to trial. He said he was not guilty, yada yada, and then he got thrown in jail because he was found guilty. And then many months later, he came out and he was like,
"Yeah, I did it. I'm really guilty."
So that's the story. Man, with these stories, it's always either love or money or something like that. And honestly, it could have been, you know, both ways. Because during that whole, you know, wiretapping thing with the Becky Black, you know, he was like confessing to her, like, I love you more than her. And, you know, I just know without a doubt that you're the one for me and all that other stuff. Yeah, so it wasn't about the love affair. It was more about the house of cards and his financials. He didn't want to get busted with that. That's instant jail time. But you know what? The interesting part is that type of crime, the financial stuff that he was doing, he would get much less time for that compared to murdering somebody, you know? Way less time. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that story. You know, I'm so hungry that I'm not able to eat much. I'm barely able to eat this. But yeah, guys, I'm pretty much done. I hope you guys enjoyed that story, and I'll keep on listening to other stories. I heard a few more juicy ones out there, but I gotta, maybe watch it one or two more times, and try to remember certain aspects of it. But anyways, I'll catch you guys later. See ya.